up in the hands of Pack. They come down the Arkansas Baptist. Pack goes along the baseline over to Levy. Levy puts up a jumper, no good. Here goes Nelson Ollie driving down for the Raiders, and he puts it up, and a foul is going to be called. Let's see, we got McGowan, Macklin, and Ross checking back in. Hollifield, Strickland, and Eli Sample will come out. It's going to be Raiders basketball underneath their own basket. And let's see, it's going to be Xavier Lee will check in the ball game. He's from somewhere in Colorado. So the ball is going to be inbounded to McGowan. McGowan Jordan will put up the jumper. Jordan picked it up. Baseline, left-hand side, makes it a 26-11 ball game. 10 minutes and 54 seconds left to play. Lady Raiders won 2 today, and if Jeff Wall got a message, we might have him up here to talk about his 2 wins on the halftime show. So he might not have got my little text. I don't know. Anyway, it's going to be Arthur Gray with a basketball. And it was put up and it did not go. Going to drive it down the full length of the floor with the ball is going to be Cameron Ross. He's going to put it up. The foul is going to be called against Tardy. At the free throw line, it'll be Cameron Ross. He is 4 out of 4 last evening. And he had 2 out of 4 from 3 range and 1 out of 1 from the field. Free throws up, he got it. So he's got 5 out of 5 going. John Meyer will come in. Coming out is going to be Leonard Smith. And once again, Cameron Ross, 6'1" freshman from Memphis, Tennessee, will be there to shoot the free throw. It's up and it's good. Got him both. To make it a 28-11 ball game. 10 minutes and 29 seconds left to play in the first half. Driving underneath, pulls up to the free throw line, shoots a jumper, missed it, was Lee. Gets his own rebound, comes back outside to Tardy for a long 3, won't go. Deflected by McGowan, picked up on going right down the middle of the floor. It's going to be Nelson Ollie. Underneath, putting it up and rolling it off, would not go. Put up by Macklin, going to be brought out by the Buffalo. Quickly down the floor. Howard takes it along the baseline, does a little hook inside, got it. Little guy, let's see, he only stands 5'9", and he went underneath and hooked it up between the big arms of all the players underneath the basket, dropped it in. 28-13. 9:44 left to play in the first half. With the ball going underneath, it's going to be McGowan, gets his own rebound, triple team, goes back outside. The ball is going to go back to McGowan after going over the Ross. Back to McGowan. Now they take it on a weave out front. Ross ends up for the ball, and he jumped up. Hit a little jumper. Makes it a 30-13 ball game. 9:18 left to play in the first half from the Best Activity Center in the First Midwest Bank Classic. Driving underneath is going to be Howard. Mike's going to be wiped out by one of our Raiders as he went inside. Going to be fouled by Cameron Ross, and that's going to be foul number 1 on Ross. It's only the 3rd team foul for the Raiders. There's been 16 fouls for the Buffaloes. Coming out, it's going to be Howard for the Buffaloes. Going in will be Tarver. And let's see who's going to step out of bounds to put the ball into play. Well, let's see, we've got Lee coming in, so they're waiting for him to come in so he can go underneath the basket and put it into play. So Lee takes the basketball, kicks it way back out front, going to go over to Tarver. Tarver will work the ball around the top of the key over to Lee. He's going to bounce left side over to, that's over to the big man. That's going to be Gray, and he went down the lane and picked it up. He stands, 6'5". Looks bigger than that. With the basketball, it's going to be Ross, drives underneath. He hands it off to John Meyer. He was standing there, and they pick it up. Makes it a 32-15 ball game with 8 minutes and 36 seconds left to play in the first half. With the basketball, Gray will take it for the Arkansas Baptist. He's going to weave it out front, hands it over to Tarver. Tarver's going to be picked up by Eli Sample. Still dribbles the ball, stops the dribble. They take it inside to the big man. Ford puts it up, and the ball, it's going to be good. It makes it a 32-17 ball game. Raiders with the basketball. It's going to be Eli Samples back in the game. 8 minutes left to play in the first half. And still Ross will take the ball. Drives all the way under. Gets his shot away up and in. Nice move by Cameron Ross. I'll eventually learn these guys. Still in the light jerseys and up and down the floor, and I don't know them that well. Here's the Raiders take the ball down, long down the floor. Taken right after, followed up by Leonard Smith. Leonard put it up and in. He shoots that left-handed, and he came up right on the left-handed side of the goal, and boy, he took her right in. 7:28 left to play in the first half. Out front with the ball is going to be Gray. Long three, won't go. Rebound's going to be coming out of there by Cameron Ross for the Raiders. Ross takes it over to the left side over to Strickland. Strickland's going to go to Sample. Sample drives for the baseline, puts up a little floater. Going to be a goal. It's going to be good, I think. Bucket's going to be good, and let's see. It's going to be 21. Going to be Tarver. So that's going to make it a 38-17 ball game. We have 7 minutes and 6 seconds left to go in the first half. And let's see, we picked up Nelson Ollie checked back in. And we got Leonard in there, Leonard Smith, as well as the Hollifield. And out front we have Strickland. That's going to make it a 39-17 ball game with 7 minutes left to play in the first half. Ball out front for the Arkansas Baptist, going to be taken by Tardy. Tardy works it over to Ford. Ford center of the floor, go right side. Over to Austin. Austin will drive underneath, put it up too hard against the backboard, won't go. Ball scrambled around on the floor. Looks like there's going to be a walk. Somebody's getting up pretty slow on the floor. That's going to be Hollifield. He can't take. Hollifield's going to pick up the foul. Don't need him to get hit on the head very badly. Milton will take the ball. Grande passes it in. Nice pass going into. Well, I've got it as Dobbs. That's it, Charleston Dobbs. They changed the numbers around a little bit there. Not as bad as last night. Last night would have been a disaster trying to do the game. Okay, let's see. Dobbs missed his first one. Checking in is going to be John Meyer. Coming out is going to be Leonard Smith. He's done a good job while he's been in there. Raiders are looking pretty good tonight. Next free throw is going to go up. It won't go. Rebounded out of there. Brought out by the Raiders. Going to be Nelson Ollie with the ball. Drives up the top of the key. Back over to Hollifield. Around the top of the key to Eli. To John Meyer inside. Triple teamed. He shakes it loose. Goes underneath. Is going to be Sample. Wouldn't go. Hit the bottom of the rim. And then went on out of bounds. So 6:22 remains. Buffaloes will inbound the basketball. And the Buffaloes calls for a timeout. 39-17, the Raiders on top with 6:20 left to play in the first half. Back in a minute. You're listening to Raiders basketball on Storm Radio, KOEA 97.5 FM. Okay, Strickland comes down and nails one for the Raiders, a three, and also they go down and foot two is picked up by Arkansas Baptist. So the score is 42-19 with 5 minutes and 55 seconds left to play in the ball game. Here's an inbounds pass. Eli Sample, he picked it up, so that's going to make it a 44-19 ball game. 5:44 left to play in the first half. Down the lane. Going to be Ford, and he picks it up. That makes it a 44-21 ball game. With 5:30 left to play. Here's a foul is going to be called down against one of the Buffaloes. Foul's going to be called against Dobbs. Picks up his first personal in the ball game. 44-21, 5:29 left to play in the first half of the ball game. It's going to be Eli Sample, who has about 12 points already in the game. He picked up his free throw. He actually has 3 out of 3 free throws going to at the present time. Going to have to come out of this long sleeve shirt. It's too hot in here. 5:29 left to play. It's a 45-21 ball game. Sample puts up his next one. It's up, and it is good. So I show him about 4 out of 4 from the free throw line. Makes it a 46-21. Turnover on with the ball is going to be Dobbs, so it's going to go back over to the Raiders to put into play. 46-21. Out front with the basketball is going to be Cameron Ross. Ross will take it center of the floor. Going to work it left side over to McGowan. McGowan goes inside to John Meyer. Meyer out to Eli Sample. They're going to work it off of the left baseline. Back out front to Ross. Back over to Eli. Drives inside. Goes to McGowan for a three. Got it. McGowan knocks down another three. He knocked it down. 49-21. 4:51 left to play in the first half. Raiders won last night. I think it was 99-something. Howard drives underneath. He put it up. Won't go. Rebounds taken off. Put up again. His triple team finally gets it up. It's going to be Ford, and that's going to be 8 points for him. So 49-23 up there. John Meyer wrestling the ball around underneath. Timeout's called by the Arkansas Baptist before they could tie it up. Full timeout. 4:16 left to play in the first half. 49-23. Back in a moment. You're listening to Raiders basketball on Storm Radio, KOEA 97.5 FM. Howard takes the basketball out front for the Buffaloes. He goes inside with it over to Tardy. He tries to go while in the air to put it up. Won't go. Rebounded by the Raiders over the timeline. Quickly, it's going to go over to Strickland. Strickland on the right wing for the Raiders. Has it knocked out of his hand, but he retrieves the ball. Goes out front around the top of the key over to Ross. Ross over to McGowan. McGowan's going to take the ball, let's see, way across the floor. Going to end up there for a three by Strickler, by Ross. Won't go. Fast break being taken. It's kind of spoiled for a moment. Levi's going to go under, go back over to the right side to Austin. Puts up about a 6-footer off the glass. Got it. It's going to make it a 49-25 ball game. We have 3 minutes and 24 seconds left to play in the first half. Driving underneath, nice drive up and in by Macklin. So Macklin makes it a 51-25 ball game with 3 minutes and 8 seconds left to play in the first half. Shot's going to be put up by Levy. Won't go. Rebounded out by McGowan. McGowan's going to work the ball over to Macklin. Macklin will take the ball, works the right side with the basketball over to Strickland. Back over to Ross. Ross, nice pass to Meyer. John was standing there at 6'9", put it up and in. Slam dunked it off. 53-25. 2:41 left to play in the first half of the ball game. Raiders on top. Mineral Area won earlier tonight. They picked up 2 victories, and the Raiders are kind of hoping to do the same thing. Well, the basketball is going to be Milton, Keelan Milton. He's going to take it over to Austin. Austin will work the ball, hands over to McClure. Lost it out of bounds, went off of his ankle, rolled out. Raiders have coming back in the game is going to be Leonard Smith. They also have Nelson Ollie checking back in. Eli checks back in. And let's see who else do we pick up. Ball stolen away on a pass by Nelson Ollie. Driving down with the basketball. It's going to be McGowan, I think, picks up the foul. It's going to be on Hollifield. It's going to be a second foul. So at the free throw line is going to be one of the little playmaker from Lenoke, Arkansas. 5'9" sophomore Mike Howard. Picked it up. And let's see, he's 3 out of 3 in this ball game. Next one's going to go up. Won't go. Rebound's going to be brought out there by Leonard. Leonard kind of fell out of bounds, and Leonard Smith dropped it out when he was trying to rebound it. Goes to the Buffaloes underneath their own basket. Gray's going to take the ball, drives underneath, charging is going to be the call. Standing in there taking the charge was Leonard Smith. He didn't move, he didn't budge. The foul is going to be called against Howard. He set up and was waiting for him when he got there, and he drove in, and then Leonard went down, but Leonard's up, going to put the ball into play. In fact, he got up yelling. 2 minutes and 5 seconds left to play, 53-26. With the ball is going to be Eli Sample. He goes around the top of the key. Goes back to the center, starts to drive, heavy traffic, going down under, and a foul is going to be called as he tried to break underneath. 1:55 left to play, 53-26. We're in the first half. Well, they're saying, Gray finally come up. So at the free throw line will be Eli, showing him about 4 out of 4 from the free throw line. 53-26, free throws up off the front of the rim, bounces right down on the floor. He'll be shooting another one. This guy's impressed me with his speed. Does a good job out front running the ball club from Crystal City, a 6'3" freshman. Free throws up and it's good. It's going to make it a 54-26 ball game. About the same crowd we had last night, maybe just a little smaller. Driving underneath, the big guy puts it up. It's going to be Levy. And boy, he's a big guy. He's 6'5", well over 200 pounds. Picked it up, makes it 54-28 with 1:33 left to play. Here's a nice pass over to Leonard. Going to go baseline for a long jumper. It won't go. Went out of bounds, so it's going to belong back over to, well, Arkansas Baptist. I think it must have been Pierce must have touched that ball. It's going to belong to the Raiders to put into play with 1:26 left to play in the first half. So here's the pass. It's going to be Nelson Ollie. Brings it into McGowan, and he's going to get bumped as he goes to retrieve the ball. It's going to be against Levy. It's going to be a second foul. McGowan will be there. First time tonight at the free throw line. He had 3 out of 5 last night. 2 out of 4 from 3 range and 1 out of 1 from around the basket. So Hollyville, we'll get some stats on these guys other than just after the first game. Free throw's going to be up. Percentages, rather. We've got the stat. We get some percentages on what all is happening and how they're shooting. Well, they're shooting. So Hollifield, 6'7" sophomore from Sykeston, will step up there again. Has to watch his head. He was injured and had a concussion, and they just got to watch it real close. Ball's going to be rebounded out of there, brought out by Levy. Levy's going to hand it over to Lee. Lee's going to work it around the top of the key over to Levy. Back over to Levy. Long three. Up. Won't go. Ball's tipped around. Leonard Smith comes out with it. Leonard's going to hand it, give the ball over to Nelson Ollie. Ollie will take the ball, still dribbling, goes right, goes left, goes right down the middle of the paint. Hands it over to Eli, who goes underneath. Eli probably would have got it slapped away, but a great move. He went underneath and put it back up over his head. I get a 57-28 ball game, 48 seconds left to play before halftime is here. Out front, a three is going to be put up by Tardy, knocked it down. Tell you this, Arkansas Baptist Buffaloes, they got a good ball club, but they also got some good three shooters too. All alone underneath is going to be Eli Sanford. Finding him was Nelson Ollie. He drifted back into there all by himself. So it makes it 59-31. Ball's going to be put up, and it ended up on the floor. They scrambled for the ball. It's going to be retrieved out of there by Gray. Gray's going to hand it underneath over to Pierce, or rather to, yeah. And that's going to be good, and a foul's going to be called. Foul's going to be called against Leonard Smith. So for Leonard, that's going to be his first foul in the ball game. 59-33, 13.2 seconds left to play in the first half. So he takes his time, going to shoot up left-handed. Up, and it rolled off the left side. 17 fouls on the Raiders. 10 have been called against the Buffaloes. He was driving all the way down, got bumped. Nelson Ollie got bumped a little bit, but he kept on driving, and he come down the floor in a couple of seconds, and he got it up just in time. So the halftime score is 61-33. Halftime score. Raiders have the lead. We have one more half to play, and the first Midwest Bank Classic will be history. Going to be back, and maybe Jeff show up. If he didn't, we'll get a stat sheet, and we'll see how the Raiders have actually been doing in this first half. Right now, it looks pretty good. It's a 61-33 ball game, and I believe the Raiders, unless something drastically happens, they're going to possibly pick up a win here tonight. Mineral Area 1-2, and hopefully the Raiders can also. Back in a few minutes, you're listening to Raiders basketball on Storm Radio, KOEA 97.5 FM. Thank you. So that's got to be delayed. Okay, we're back at the Best Activity Center where the Raiders have a lead of 61-38. And we've got a stat sheet here with us so we can take a look and see what we've been doing. It's about, what, 10 seconds? Yeah. Just looking at the webcast that is going on right now, it's a little bit slow. About, I would say that maybe 8 seconds is what it comes up on there. We were just watching it here. Scoring in this first half, and very impressive first half of the Raiders. They shot from the field 63%, three range 59%. And free throws are up a word. Brian kind of likes it at 76.9. But this is the second game. I was commenting about the fact that we had done what I felt like pretty good for last night with freshmen first time around, and got out and scored in the high 50s. But he said, boy, it's got to be higher than that. Or maybe it was 60. 60, let me see, I got it right here. It was 56-3. So anyway, let's look at the scoring first for the Buffaloes from Little Rock, Arkansas. And for the Raider fans, we're going to be playing the Buffaloes again in about 2 weeks. We're going to be on the West Plains tournament. And they have a classic going on over there. We will play them over there in the classic, and then we also go later in the season. We're going to be going down to Little Rock, Arkansas. So we're going to be playing them 3 times this year. And we're off to a pretty good start at the present time with this game. So scoring for the, let's look at the Arkansas Baptist first. 5 points for Mike Howard. Marcus Levy has 4. Have 3 for Tardy, 3 for Xavier Lee. 2, they don't have anybody in double figures. 2 for Tarver, 2 for Gray, 2 for Dobbs, 4 for Ford, and 6 for Pierce. So the leading scorer for the Buffaloes with 6 points will be Pierce. And he got those 3 out of 3 from the field goal range. They had 22 rebounds, and they have actually out-rebounded the Raiders. The Raiders have 19 in the first half, 22 rebounds for the Arkansas Baptist. So let's see what else we can get out of that. 40% from the field, 16% from 3 range, and free throws have been 45%. So that's a pretty good stats for them. Of course, they do not have anyone in double figures in scoring. We only have 2. Anyway, Eli Sample is certainly hanging out front right at the present time. Well, here's the man I've been looking for. Let me adjust my microphones, and we're going to be off and talk with Jeff Walk. And we got to have that one off, and the input's got to be on. And then that one on half, we get that one turned off, and we get this one turned up, and we're off and going with the hand mic. Hey, congratulations on such a great start.
Thanks, Wilbur.
Boy, I know I've always heard about you. Your gals were going to be good at defense, which they are, but man, they can hit the goal with the scores you've put together.
We've been out, how do I want to say this? Told them at halftime today, the harder they play on defense, the easier offense gets. And they're kindly figuring that out. If they really get out and bust their tail on the defensive end, offense end's really easy. And that's pretty much evident today. I mean, we got out and got a bunch of turnovers late in the ball game and kind of extended that one out. The kids are just really working hard. And the most thing that I'm more tickled about than anything today, we had 20 assists. So, I mean, that's very unusual.
How's your rebounding? I think you got a pretty tall team, don't you?
We're not near as tall as we were last year. But
really?
No, we're more athletic overall. Okay. Rebounding, so far we've been winning the war on the boards.
That's good. Of course, you don't have to just be big, getting around and getting in the right position and using your head a little bit. And I know you and Sharonda. Of course, I'd read in the paper where you told Sharonda you wanted to find some defenses.
Yeah, and getting down and guarding the post kids the last 2 nights have done a really good job as far as not letting their post players get in there and just run wild on us. And plus our defensive pressure on the perimeter, that makes that a whole lot easier for the post defensive player.
Okay, you got your stats in front of you. I don't know if that's cumulative of 2 games, but at least for today, which was a big win against the host team, tell us who got in the scoring.
Yeah, beat somebody on their home floor by almost 20 is a pretty good task early in the year. I told the reporter out there a while ago, we had 3 kids in double figures and only had 1 kid over 20 minutes. So, I mean, the kids are really buying, I wouldn't say buying in, but they're understanding what they need to do when they're in, and you can't beat that. 20 minutes and still have 3 kids in double figures, or point production per minute is doing really good.
Are your 3, the ones you had today in double figures, are they sophomores, or you got some freshmen coming up?
A sophomore and 2 freshmen. The freshmen come in this year. If I can get as lucky bringing in freshman class like this every year, knock on wood, it's going to be a lot of fun.
It sounds like it's going to be fun this year too.
We're starting 4 freshmen and a sophomore. And there's some injuries there. I mean, they could have been some sophomores maybe get in there, but it's been pretty fun so far.
Tell me about the 4 freshmen and the sophomore. Who are the girls?
Well, the Rice girl from the Bluff that played 2 years ago, Denisha, I mean.
She's just a tough little girl.
Oh,
tough girl.
Yeah, she had 4 threes yesterday and ended up with 21. And I told her after the ball game, I said, I really missed that. She didn't, they was kind of putting a little more pressure on her today, and she handled it real well. I think she ended up with, I don't know. I mean, I'll tell you in just a second.
Well, you got to have good glasses to see those figures. An old man like me can't see them even with glasses.
She ended up with 5, but she had 3 or 4 assists, and just a great floor general out on the floor. Doesn't try to make anything happen that's not there, and they all just seem to get along and play hard together and understand the effort that it takes for 40 minutes.
Rebounding, how about the rebounding today? Now you're getting in my quality there.
44 to 30 on the rebounding. So and that we got a couple kids that know how to rebound.
Who are the girls?
Anna Boat and the freshman, and Aaron Bowman. Tara Porter's been getting in there rebounding pretty good. And the rest of them just go and get it. I mean, it ain't just one of them. They know how to position themselves. And, again, if I can be so lucky to bring in kids like we got this year that know how to play, mine and Coach Powell's job is going to get a lot easier.
Sounds like you have some depth there, Coach. Just listening to you telling you, you're not just 1 or 2. You got some depth. You can just take them out and put them in.
We've been running them in kind of like hockey shifts. In waves, running 3 or 4 in, 5 in at a time, and they got about 3 minutes to get in there and get after it. And I mean, the depth today, that really paid off. We was down 2 at half. Wow. But you could tell that the wheels was getting ready to fall off the bus, and then next thing you know, we, what I call, had a feeding frenzy on our end. They didn't get the ball across the half for about 6 possessions. We shot 6 layups, and then that's ball game. So, the kids really getting out and guarding and doing a good job.
I haven't seen them, but I'm looking forward to Tuesday night, 6 o'clock ball game here when Kaskaskia comes in. They'll be tough, but we can be tough too.
Oh, yeah. We watched them play up at Swick, and they was one of the better teams up there at the Jamboree we was at a couple weeks ago. And they got a hometown kid playing for them. Miranda Burrows, I believe, plays for them. So, that's kind of the reason we scheduled that game, let her get back down here and watch the her whole buddies fight, watch her plays. But, yeah, it's going to be a good ball game for us. And you never know how that first home game goes. We might play like freshmen come Tuesday, but I don't think so.
I don't think you're going to let them do that. Coach, congratulations. Off to an undefeated start. That's good. 2-0, and we'll make it 3-0 next Tuesday night. I've been plugging your ball game all tonight about being out here and fill this place up, and let's get behind the Lady Raiders.
Well, I sure appreciate that. Yeah, and I'd like to have as many people we can in the stands. I know it's election night, but you can go vote early and then come out here afterwards.
Hey, I just glanced in the paper today. I've been out of town, but I noticed somebody said they referred to Sharonda as a grandmother, as grandma. You know, just say it's kind of like grandma. Who is that? I can't wait to see Sharonda and call her grandma.
Ask her about that one. That might just be her new nickname.
Well, it's somebody. I just read it, and there's one of them called her grandma. I got her kid Sharonda.
Right. No, she's doing a good job. You know, we went out last year and she did, and we spent a lot of hours on the road getting these kids in, and you know that's going to pay off for us dividends this year.
Jeff, thank you for coming by. I didn't know if you'd make it. I never did hear back from you, but I wanted you to come by and let the people know what's happening with our Lady Raiders.
Oh yeah, sure appreciate it, and I'll just see you Tuesday.
See you Tuesday night. Thanks so much. Okay, going to be back and start the second half of this ball game in just a moment. Hope you stick around. You're listening to Raiders basketball on Storm Radio, KOEA 97.5 FM. One. That's going to be there. Over there. One. Okay, talking with Jeff Walk, which I certainly enjoyed talking with him about his team, and he's off and going, and we're about a minute behind. Here's the tip in, it's going to go to Tarver, and the score is 63-40. 63-40, but we want to certainly get our people in that we have that sponsor our broadcast, and we appreciate them so very, very much. Ball's going to go into Meyer. Meyer's going to turn around, gets it knocked out of bounds as the Arkansas Baptist come out with a little bit more energy. They come out going to try to close this gap. The Raiders leading by 23 with 18-24 left to play in this first Midwest Bank Classic here at the Best Activity Center. Ball's going to be taken down the lane. Going to go Strickland, drives underneath, gets it knocked out of hands, picked up by John Meyer. Tried to put it up, comes up short, rebounding the ball, and he's trying to go back up when it was Macklin, and Macklin's going to be fouled. Foul's going to be called on Tarver. For Tarver, that's going to be about foul number 3. And at the free throw line is going to be Macklin. Free throw goes up and it's good. That's the first one for Macklin, and that makes it a 64-40 40 ball game. 18-12 left to play in the ball game. Next one's up by Macklin, and it's good. That's going to make it a 65-40 ball game. 18 minutes left to play. Here's a long three put up by Tardy. Won't go. Rebound brought out by the Raiders. John Meyer with the ball. He's going to hand it over to Nelson Ollie. Over to the right wing, over to Macklin. Macklin's going to try to take it down to Meyer. Gets it knocked loose, and fast break going down. It's going to be Tardy. Drives underneath. Put it up. Foul's going to be called. So let's see. Foul's going to be called against Strickland. That's going to be his first foul. 17:46. Appreciate so much our great sponsors that you hear from time to time. Also want to be sure and tell you about our TRCC bus program that's coming on line again this year. Renda Ludwigson always behind that. Tardy's free throws up and it's good. Checking in is going to be Eli Sample. Coming out is going to be McGowan. Also coming out is going to be Macklin. And then it's going to be Hollifield for the Raiders. 65-41. Scoring this ball game. Not quite as big a crowd as we had last night. In fact, I saw many leaving out there at the halftime because the score was so far 61-33. And I think they probably thought, well, it's not going to be too much of a ball game, so they went ahead and left. Here's a walking going to be called against Eli. They put the pressure on Eli. He was being guarded very closely, and it's going to be a timeout called by Arkansas Baptist. Want to mention the TRCC bus program sponsors: Larry Hillis Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, People's Community Bank in Wapapella, Renda Ludwigson, Precision Heat and Air, owner David Pig. Appreciate David. Super 8 Motel is Ann Miller. First Missouri State Bank. Dilly's Pharmacy, Gary Simmons. First Midwest Bank of the Ozarks and Piedmont. Croy's Perfect Press, Four Winds Travel, and First Community Bank. Now, we've got 6 trips planned. The first one that's going to be December the 9th. Bus leaves TRC. That's on a Sunday. Don't necessarily like Sunday game, but we're going to be playing in Forest Park, and that's shootout. It's a rolling shootout. There's about 10 games that day, it seems like. Bus will leave the TRC parking lot at 11 a.m. That's the first trip. But anyway, if you're interested and want to get on there, these people have a ball. And you're interested to be sure and call Renda, 785-0402. And there's going to be 6 trips. In fact, one of them is going to be overnight when we go up to Sedalia and also to Moberly. So plan now to sign up. And we've got those great bus sponsors, which we appreciate them so very, very much. And they have a good time on that bus. Anyway, it's going to be the Buffaloes with the basketball. It's going to be Xavier Lee out front. He's going to take the ball over across around the top of the key over to Tardy. Tardy's going to work the ball with Austin. Drives underneath. And he picked it up. He got 65-42 is the score. 17-10 left to play. But the basketball is going to be Eli Sample. Sample's going to work it over to Strickland. Underneath to John Meyer. Easy turnaround, layup and in at 6-10. Easy shot. That makes it a 67-42 ball game. 16:51. And you can't let up for a minute with this Arkansas Baptist Buffaloes. They're tough. They played Mineral Area really tough last night at times. Here coming after the basketball. The shot went up. John Meyer touched it last after a good defensive effort by Marcus Levy. Well, let's see. They're going to put Gray back in the lineup. Also going to be Howard for the Buffaloes. The Arkansas Baptist Ball Club from Little Rock. We play them tonight. We were playing them in the West Plains Tournament, the Classic, in about 2 weeks. And then we're going to be playing them in their home floor. And that's a tough place to play down there. Cameron Ross picked up 2 for the Raiders. He drove underneath. So that's going to be the Arkansas Baptist. Howard takes the ball for the Buffaloes. Cuts across the top of the key. Reverses action. Goes down the left side. Can't get in. Back over to Lee. Lee's they try to take it underneath. They're going to go to the big man who got the ball, laid it up, but he rolled over the top of the rim, knocked out of bounds by Raider Leonard Smith. It's going to go back to the Buffaloes to put into play. Ball's going to come out front over to Austin. Austin will work the ball around over to Xavier Lee. Lee's going to take it back over to the top to Howard. Howard's going to work it over to Austin. Austin has it stolen away. Taken away on a nice steal by Strickland, and the foul is going to be called against Gray for the Buffalo. 15:55 left to play. That was the second team foul. There was one call on the Raiders, and so already in this half, 2-1. So it's going to be Eli Sample gives the ball over to Hollifield. Hollifield's going to take it back over to Ross. Ross drives along the baseline, goes back over to McGowan. McGowan on the right wing, heavy traffic, shoves it back out front around the top of the key. They give it over to Strickland, nailed it. Strickland knocked it down. Brandon Strickland. I might have said Nelson, but I meant Strickland. 33, my old number when I played in high school. Strickland, number 33. But the basketball is going to be Leonard Smith. Gets it off on the floor. Ross is going to drive all the way down. Kicks it outside to, it almost was going to go up. Kicked it outside to Hollifield. He had it look like he had him a good shot. Coming down, laying it up for the Buffaloes, and missing his layup was Howard. Going to turn it back over, and with the basketball is going to be Eli Sample. Turns around, gives it down the lane to Ross. Ross gets it knocked around. Fast break going to be taken by Howard down all by himself. Putting it up and in is going to be Austin. It makes it a 72-44 ball game with 14:33 left to play in this ball game. Just coming down, decides he's going to shoot a three. It was put up by Smith? Yep. Leonard missed it, rebounded out of there, brought out of there by Lee. Lee's going to work the ball over to Gray. Gray will work it inside, turn around, laying it up. Foul's going to be called against Leonard. And at the free throw line is going to be McGee. 14:14 left to play, 72-44, and ball game moves right along. This is the final game of the First Midwest Bank Classic. We appreciate them sponsoring this every year. It opens up and gets the season going. Long way to go. Here's a free throw going to go up by McGee, and he missed it. So let's see who we got in. We put into the ball game. It's going to be Nelson Ollie. Also, Macklin checks in. Leonard stays in. John Meyer comes in, and we also have McGowan. Boy, I've got some of these guys down, but I don't have all their names down yet. Ball's going to come off. Is going to be taken off by John Meyer, our big freshman from Jackson. Knocked out of his hands, out of bounds. The Raiders get the basketball. Leonard Smith was having trouble getting the ball in, and what he did, he called a quick timeout. 14:13 left to play in the ball game. Raiders lead 72-44. Back in a minute. You're listening to Raiders basketball on Storm Radio, KOEA 97.5 FM. Macklin came down with a basketball, and he handed it off to Big John Meyer. He slam dunked it home. Raiders get the basketball again and come down, and putting it up this time is going to be Macklin. Macklin put it up, and that was good. That makes it a 76-46 ball game with 13 minutes and 28 seconds left to play in the ball game. So at the free throw line is going to be Macklin. He's 2 out of 2 from the free throw line. He made this one. So tonight he's a 3 out of 3 shooter. 77-46, 13:23 left. There's a quick go down the floor. Putting it up is going to be McGee. Won't go. Rimmed in and out of there. John Meyer rose up high at the rebound. Brought it down. The Raiders moved the basketball. McGowan's going to go over to Leonard Smith. Leonard works it out front over to Macklin. Macklin on the right wing. He's going to bring it back out front around the top of the key to Nelson Ollie. Starts to drive in, gets the ball stolen away. And there's going to be a trip there, and I don't know what exactly happened. Howard was on the floor for the Buffaloes, and his own player tripped over him. Going to be a foul call on Ollie, but it wasn't that much involved in it. But getting up very slow was one of the, and he actually tripped over his own ball player who was down on the floor. So they're looking at his knee. Costa's it out there, the trainer for the Raiders. He's always good, and the one that got hurt on the leg possibly was Keelan Melton, 5'11" sophomore from Sunset. That sounds nice. Sunset, Louisiana. So the ball's going to go back over to the Buffaloes to put into play. And I'll tell you, this last 5 minutes has been long. But the basketball is going to be Howard. Howard shoves the ball out front over to Gray. Gray's going to take the ball. Thought a backcourt violation there. But anyway, Lee takes the ball, works it over to Howard. Howard down the lane, shoots it over Big John. Put it up and in. Little 5'9" was backed off, was able to get it over 6'9", John Meyer. Makes it a 77-48 ball game. 12:32, here's the pass goes into John Meyer. He puts it up, but it didn't go, but a foul is going to be called. So foul is going to be called against Howard. And I think we got a brand new Raider team getting ready to check in. John Meyer, who's 1 out of 2 for tonight from the free throw line, has 10 points to his credit. Will be there to put up the free throw. This guy, my man from Jackson. Did all I could to recruit to get him down here. Visited with his parents. I'll never forget that. Told him, boy, he needs to come down here. And he decided to come to Three Rivers. Plus, his pastor, I think some of them up there also worked on him too. And boy, he's going to make an all-time Raider. Good move. 6'9". Good head on his shoulder. Wow. And that gives him 13 points. With the basketball all the way down the floor is going to be Xavier Lee. He puts it up and it won't go. There's going to be Meyer, went up the rebound, but he went flying through the air, and I see why he did. He was shoved from behind by Pickett, who just took his arms and put him right in his back and gave him a little right. So it's a 79-48 ball game, and that was only the 15th foul. There's only been 8 called in this ball game, and we're about 3/4 of the way. With the basketball, it's going to be Ross. Ross works it out to Strickland. Strickland back over to Ross. Drives underneath, gets it stripped away. Picks the ball up, tries it again. It's knocked away. There's going to be body contact made. A fast break taken by the Buffalo. And let's see, Eli Sample going to be the one that did the fouling this time. So a 79-48 ball game with 12 minutes. That's going to be a second foul, and it's only the 4th team foul. There's only been 5 called against the Buffaloes. Quite different than both ball games were last night. Last night it was something else with all the fouling that was going on. For 12 minutes and 2 seconds, first one's missed by Levy, I'm sorry. He'll put up another one. It's up. He missed this one. Rebound brought out there by Eli Sample. Good timing. Levi's only 6'3", but he could time perfectly the rebound and got it with the basketball out front for the Raiders. It's going to be Cameron Ross. Ross will take the ball way across the floor to Eli. He starts to drive the baseline, gets a little jumper away, but gets it taken away. Fast break taken by the Buffaloes. All coming down. They were going to make it okay because Levy was going to do it, and he kicked it with his foot. So it's a 79-48 ball game. 11 minutes and 38 seconds left to play. With the basketball for the Raiders, it's going to be Cameron Ross. Ross will go inside to Big John Mott. He puts up a little hook shot, got it. Man, that was great. 81-48 is the score in this game. Raiders pulling it away a little bit. We still have 11 minutes and 18 seconds to play in this game. Here's a pass, goes inside. It's going to be ended up in the hands of John Meyer. And it gets stolen away as he gives the ball over to Ross. Ross got it stolen away from him by Tarver, and Tarver put it up and in. That's going to make it an 81-50 ball game. With the ball is going to be Eli. Going to give it over to Ross. Ross will work the ball over to Strickland. Strickland takes it back over to Hollifield. They go inside the big man, John Meyer. Back out to Hollifield. Left side to Eli. Back to Hollifield around the top of the key. Goes over to Ross. Ross goes back to Eli. At the free throw line. Shoots the jumper. Wouldn't go. Tipped up by Meyer. It won't go. Finally rebounded out of there by Pickett for the Buffalo. Coming down. A long pass went up and in. Goal's going to be good. It's going to be Tarver picking up 2. That's 8 points for him. And a foul is going to be called against John Myers. He tried to slap it away, but ended up making body contact with the shooter. So we have Tarver able to chance to pick up 3 points. Cameron Ross and Eli comes out of the ball game. We have Nelson Ollie checking in. And then McGowan also checks back in. 10:24. We'll play this ball club 3 times this year. Once tonight and a couple of weeks in West Plains Classic. And then we also end up going down to Arkansas Baptist for a home game. And boy, they are really, 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 really tough down there. 10 minutes and 24 seconds left in the ball game. It's 81-53. Of course, we're going to get tougher, too, by the time we're that far into the season. Here's a foul with the basketball was the Raiders. It's going to be Strickland. Foul's going to be called against Tardy, but that's only the 5th team foul. 6 have been called on the Buffaloes from Arkansas Baptist. Raiders get the ball. They're going to bring it way out front. Back out front. It goes over to Strickland. Strickland will work the ball over to Hollifield. Back to McGowan for a 3. Knocked the bottom out of it. I've got him with 3 threes tonight. That's not for all. 10 minutes left to play in the ball game. Halfway of the last half. They played halfway here. Going underneath, the ball is going to be blocked, picked up by the Raiders, taken by Strickland. Strickland puts up a jumper, won't go. Quick rebound, and John Meyer is going to end up with it. It was put up by Nelson Ollie, and then it didn't go, but John Meyer put it up and in. We've got John with about 17 points at the present time. Here's a ball going shot inside. It's off of the hands of it's off of the fingertips of John Meyer. And that's going to bring, let's see, we've got Leonard Smith coming in for John. Should get a nice hand. This guy is really playing some kind of basketball. Freshman from Jackson, Missouri. So all you people from Jackson need to get out there and watch him. He's good. Watch him through his high school and then watch him develop as he goes to college ranks. And there's no doubt this guy will go into some big school. Wow. There's a 3 by Strickland. That's his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe his 6th 3 for tonight. So we've got some 3 shooters also. Lee drives underneath, puts it up, won't go, tip back up and in by Pickett. That makes it 89-55. 8:51 left to play in the ball game. Raiders have the lead. But the ball is going to be Hollifield out front. He works it over to Nelson Ollie. Ollie starts underneath, can't get it away, hands it over to Strickland, and Strickland picked it up. Makes it a 91-55 ball game with 8:27 left to play in the game. Raiders have the lead. It's going to be Austin with the ball. Put up a long three, knocked it down. Makes it a 91-58 ball game. Raiders have the lead. 8 minutes and 8 seconds left to play in the ball game. Out front, and McGowan's, rather, it's going to be Hollifield gives it over to Austin. Austin will work the ball, guarded by Austin. Back over to Nelson Ollie. Long three by McGowan. Won't go. Kisses the front of the rim, just bounced up right into the hands of Pickett. So coming down with the basketball is going to be the Buffaloes down the lane. They work the ball over to Pickett. Now they're going to go for a long three. That won't go. The three was up by Tardy. Rebounded out for Hollifield. Works the ball over to Nelson. Ollie. Back to McGowan. Three. Wow. Give him a time to set up. Oh, it's going to be interesting on the threes. We got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, possibly 11 threes have been scored. Here's a three going to be put up. A three bounded. It was missed by Austin, picked up by Dobbs. Going underneath, they work it over to Pickett. Ball still being knocked around on the floor. Going to finally be picked up by Leonard Smith. And he wants to dribble a little bit. He's going to come into the front court. Hands the ball over on a three that won't go. Three was put up by Strickland. Ball's knocked around, went out of bounds. It's going to be the Raiders basketball. We've got John Meyer coming in. Also, we have Macklin, Strickland, and Eli Sample. 6:52 left to play. 6:52. It's a 94-58 ball game. So there's a foul. Ball's knocked out of bounds. It wasn't a foul. It's going to be long back over to the Buffaloes. Dobbs will take the ball. John A. Logan will be playing here at the Best Activity Center next Saturday night. That will be a tough game. Here's a pass goes inside, but the Raiders will have a week to prepare for John A. Logan. That's McGee picked up that ball. He got it underneath the basket. 94-60 with 6:22 left to play. With the ball is Eli Sample. He just gets pushed as he went around Dobbs. And a foul is going to be on Mr. Dobbs. And it's going to be his second foul. At the free throw line will be Sample. I show him with about 6 out of 6 from the free throw line. He had 3 out of 6 last night. About 14, 17 points on top of that. Free throws up and it's good. So, wow. Let's see what he's got if we put those together at the rate he's going. The Sample had 3 out of 6 last night. It's up, got them both. So that's going to be interesting. I show him at 4, well, actually about 8 out of 8. Down the lane, going underneath, putting it up and in. Caught the Raiders just a little bit looking the other way, and the ball is going to be put up and in by McGee. 6 minutes left to play. Raiders lead 96-30. Ball's going to go underneath, right back to Sample. Won't go, knocked out of bounds, and let's see, it's going to be knocked out. As John Meyer tried to get the basketball, but it's going to be the Raiders basketball underneath their own basket to put into play. It's going to be Cameron Ross with the ball. Comes out front for 3, put up by Strickland. It's in and out. Tipped up and almost in, but actually ends up back out on the floor. And it's going to be picked up by the Buffalo. A double team out there. They're trying to get rid of the ball. They finally do. It's going to go over to Tardy. Tardy for the Buffaloes. He's going to hand it over to Austin. He'll put it up, and he got it. Knocked it down. That makes it a 96-65 ball game. 96-65, 5:24 left to play, and foul's going to be called against Eli Sample. For Eli, that's going to be foul number 3. Going to walk the foot. That's the 16th foul for the Raiders. Been 7 fouls called against the Buffaloes. 5:22 left to play in the ball game. Raiders had a nice win last night. That West Plains Classic will be the week of December 7th and 8th. So we'll end up one of those nights playing Arkansas Baptist. Here's the jumper going to be put up. It's going to be up and good by Dobbs. The foul going to be called against inbounds pass against Milton. Milton, that's one. We're going to walk the full length of the floor, and let's see who's going to step into the shooting spot. Looks like it's going to be Ross. Cameron Ross, 6'1", freshman, will be there. Show him with 2 out of 2 on the night. 5 minutes and 6 seconds left to play. He picks up a free throw. And he'll have a shot at another one. Raiders having a good ball game. Have to wet the whistle. Got his next one. That's going to make it a 98-67. Long pass down the floor with the Baptist is going to be Tarver. Tarver shoves it back out front of it to Tardy. Tardy goes to lay up, and a foul's going to be called. So the Raiders foul's going to be called against. It's going to be against Macklin. It's going to be his first, and that free throw line would be number 3. That's going to be Tardy. Let's see, Mineral Area won last night 103-66. We scored 99 last night. And the free throw is going to go up and goes off the side, back of the rim, hits the front of the rim, bounce back, hit the back, and bounce back out to the front. So he's 3 out of 4. 4:54 left to play in the ball game. Taking plenty of time. Up, and it is up. So it's going to make it a 98-68. Raiders having trouble getting the ball into play. Now they finally do. With the basketball is going to be Macklin. Macklin will start down the lane, shoves it back outside over to Ross. Ross is going to take it around over to Macklin. Macklin goes out front to Eli Sample, and he's going to be fouled and tried to retrieve the ball by Brian Tardy. So at the free throw line with a chance to put 100 on the board for the Raiders for the first time this year is going to be Eli. He has something like, in my unofficial capacity, got about 8 out of 8. He might have missed one in there. I don't remember it. Try to keep the records as close as I can. 99, let's see if he's the first one to make 100 for the Raiders. He's going to put it up in the air. It's up, and it is good. (100-68). So Eli Sample will pick up the first 100 for the Raiders. So with the basketball is going to be Pickett. Goes over to McGee. They're going to work it underneath. Big John gets a hand on him and going to pick up his. So let's see. Show third foul in the ball game. At the free throw line will be Brian Tardy. 5'11" sophomore from Franklin, Louisiana. Tardy's going to put up the free throw. 3 out of 4. Going to go up in the air, and he got it. Let's see, we've got Smith, also McGowan, and also we got Ollie comes in. They've had a little rest. 100-69. Some of the older people in the crowd begin to file out. Free throw's going to go up, and it's going to be good. So the Raiders will get the basketball, trying to get it in bounds. They have it knocked back out of bounds. I want to announce again that the Lady Raiders won today. It's good having Jeff Walk on the halftime show. Here's the long pass down the floor. Goes to Leonard Smith. Smith dumps it off to Macklin, and Macklin picked it up and put it in. Going to make it 102 to 70. 4:17 left to play in this ball game. It's going to be Gray with the basketball. Fans kind of sitting around wondering when this game is going to be over. Not overly exciting whenever you got that big a lead. Baseline jumper, hit it. It's going to be Tardy. I think they might have put that up on the wrong side. No, there they got it. 102-73. They corrected it. They did have it on the wrong side. Here's a long pass down the floor going to Tardy. Tardy can't retrieve the ball. Turns it over. Going to go back over to the Raiders to put into play with 3:42 left to play in the game. The Raiders will play John A. Logan here next Saturday night. That'll be a tough ball game. John A. Logan is always got a good ball club. I heard that Mark Imhoff is not their head coach now, but he's still involved with the school. But Mark is such a great friend of mine and an outstanding coach, let me tell you, Mark is. I don't know if he's out of coaching completely or what, but I understand he's not the head coach. Well, the basketball is going to be Nelson. He's going to drive inside, heavy traffic, bounces it out to Hollifield for a three, and he knocked it down. So Will picked it up. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 threes, I think I show here. Driving underneath for the basketball. There's going to be a charging foul. Is going to be called. And that's going to be his fourth person. It's going to be Gray. 105-73. 3:13 left to play, and that's the right score. Anyway, we'll go with it. But the basketball is going to be Macklin. Macklin will look out front, takes the ball over the right side, going to go over to Nelson. Ollie. Ollie will take the ball, and he's looking for Hollifield to McGowan. Down the lane, goes for it up, gets it slapped away. Heavy traffic, taken on a fast break. Going to be a foul call against. Going to be called against Hollifield. So we're going to walk to the free throw line again. At the free throw line is going to be Delonte Pack. He's from Chicago, Illinois. Free throw goes up off the side of the rim. Going to be rebounded out by the Buffaloes. Taken out there by McGee. Going to work the ball over to Lee. Lee will go down the lane. Underhands it. Won't go. Rebounded out. Kicks it out to Gray for a three. Knocked it down. Well, it's going to make it 2:27 left to play in the ball game. Here comes four more players for the Raiders. Eli Samples coming in. Ross is in. Strickland comes in. And we've got Big John Meyer checking back in for the Raiders. Always good to get these first games kind of out of the way and get a look at this thing, how it's, these games, because they played junior varsity last night, but they played a good ball game in Missouri Baptist. Then tonight, this is a regular community college, a big enrollment down in Little Rock. We'll be going down there to play. And you talk about fans getting into the game. They got fans that get into the game. So the basketball is going to be out front with it. It's going to be Strickland. Foul's going to be called. Let's see, it's going to be Lee. Picks up his first foul. At the free throw line is going to be Strickland. Brandon will be there. Raiders a big night tonight. It was halftime score was 61-33. They've kept on going, had a good second half too, and going to get out here with their second win. Here it is. Free throw is going to go up by Strickland. It won't go. Missed his first one. Raiders have done pretty good from the free throw shooting. Eli Sample, be interesting to see what the official book says. I have him 9 free throws. Next one's up, off the front of the rim, won't go. Going to be brought out of there by the Buffaloes. Coming down quickly to put it up is going to be Pack. Won't go. Rebounded out, brought down by Cameron. Cameron picks up some defenders before he gets over the line. He might go all the way, drives down, hands it over to John Myers, who was out of pocket, went right underneath the basket, still holds the ball. Gives it over to Eli Sample. Sample will work the ball outside to, let's see, that's going to be outside to Strickland. Strickland takes the ball over to Eli Sample. John Meyer went down on the floor, but he gets up. Don't know if he's knocked down or whether he just fell down. Anyway, with the basketball inside, it's going to be kicked around, finally into the hands of Eli Sample. The shot got away in time. Slam dunk by Levy. Oh, we might call that Levy. 105 to 78. Foul's going to be called against Levy. And it looks like going to the free throw line for the Raiders is going to be Cameron Ross. 1:12 left to play in the ball game. Raiders 105 to 78. And it'll be Cameron Ross at the free throw line. Going to go up in the air when he got it. Boy, the free throw shooting tonight for the Raiders is, looking at my unofficial stats, is going to be incredible. Let's see, we got Hollifield checking back in. We got McGowan checking in. And here's the next free throw by Ross, and it's good. I show him about 5 out of 5. Unofficial. 107 to 78. Basketball is going to be taken back to Lee. Lee starts to go inside. We're down to the final minute. Back over to Lee. Lee's going to take it out over to the right side to Gray for a 3. It's going to be off the left. No good. Rebounded and put back in, and it's blocked, but a foul's going to be called. I don't know against John Meyer, but it's going to be Delonte Pack. Will go to the free throw line, and John Myers is going to pick up his 4th foul in the ball game. 107 to 78. First free throw's up, and it won't go. He'll put up another one. Next one's up, and it's good. I don't know if they do a team. They might do it, the outstanding team players in the tournament. But I see Don Crandall's getting down there to hand out the awards. Walking with the ball. It's going to be turned over by, turned over by Ross. It's going to go back with 36 seconds, 107-79. So the basketball will be Xavier Lee. Around the top of the key to Levy. Pass goes over to Lee. He's going to go back over out front to Levy. Goes to his left side, feeds the ball over the pass. Long 3 is going to be put up and in by Lee. Makes it 107 to 82. 13 seconds left to play in the ball game, and the ball is going to be kicked with a foot. I'm calling the block. Block's going to be on Gray. That might be, he's out of here. That shows 5th foul I've got here, and that's the case. 13.1 seconds left to play. 107 to 82. Remember, we're going to be playing John A. Logan next Saturday night. Tuesday night, we're going to be a Lady Raider game at about 6 o'clock, and they're going to be playing Kaskaskia. You can get out and go vote and come out and watch the Lady Raiders. 108-82, 13.1 seconds left, and 2 free throws by Ross goes up. That makes it 109 to 82. Here's a long 3 put up, and wow, Goodman by Tardy. So the Raiders just kind of take the ball, come down. Again, ball game's over. It's 109 to 85. Raiders win it. 109 to 85. Wow. First Midwest Bank Classic's been a good one. Don't forget about our bus sponsors. He's going to be sponsoring the bus again on the trips out of town. There's 6 different trips. And the thing exciting about this is we're about the only junior community college that does that. But it's Linda Ludwigson that kind of heads it up. If you want any information or anything about it, 785-0402. But it's been a widespread game, and we really didn't know what to expect because Arkansas Baptist and Mineral area went at it last night, and then they go at it tonight. So we're going to see if we can get the okay. Head to my. Also, the all-tournament team from Mineral area is number 33, Quantel Denson. And on the all-tournament team from Arkansas Baptist, number 21, Joshua Tarver. And making this year's all-tournament team from Three Rivers, Eli Sample. 1-1. Also from Three Rivers, Brandon Strickland. Good ball, Brandon. And the final member of the all-tournament team, also from Three Rivers, John Meyer. Well, there's no doubt John Byer is going to be on the team. That guy's had a tremendous tournament. First Midwest Bank Classic. Going to be playing John A. Logan next Saturday night. Let me get my mics. I'm trying to keep these things where we can get them working right and get a better sound. And we're getting there. Let's see. Going to turn that off, and that open. I'll leave that on half and get that one open, and we'll also have the input turned off. 1-1-1. Okay, we're going to wait for Coach Best to get up here and talk about tonight's ball game. And let me see what we've got on the stats on this game because it was off, and the input's open. Okay. We had mine, I wasn't sure, but we'll get a total for the ball game, and they've already brought the stats up. So let's see what we did from the free throw line. The Raiders were 25 out of 30 from the free throw line. 10 out of 11 by Eli Sample, 8 out of 8 by Ross, 3 out of 3 by Macklin, and 3 out of 4 by John Meyer. So, wow, that's some kind of shooting. I don't know that we've, maybe we have over the years had teams that have come out and done that well, but boy, that's quite a deal tonight. And let me get my input mic. I believe that's better right there. So waiting on Coach Best to get up here so we can talk to him about the ball game, and a fair crowd on hand tonight. Not as big as we usually have. But next Saturday night, we're going to be playing John A. Logan here. Let me see if I can get a time on that ball game. It'll be 7 o'clock next Saturday night. John A. Logan from Carterville, Illinois is going to be on hand for a big game. And everybody that's ever been around basketball at our level and the teams we have played, you certainly know the power of the